Alright, howdy doing? Welcome back to episode 2. On the last episode, we got a little bit stranded after running into a oversized walking mountain of death. Ended up having to work our way to Astera here, and now we're just about to pick up our first quest. So let's talk to the handler and see what we got.
Right on time.
Alright, from now on, you're my hunter and I'm your handler. I'm the bread to your butter. Got it?
Oh yeah.
The 5th Fleet's first mission is to survey the Jagras habitat. Then we gotta cull a certain number of them in order to secure the area. We can depart as soon as you sign up for the Jagras of the Ancient Forest quest. You ready?
What are we waiting for? The
A
new
wild
world
and
awaits.
wondrous new world is waiting for us out there. Alright, so we'll go to post new quest and we'll read the tutorial. Quests involve objectives such as slaying monsters. To get started on a quest, first you have to accept it. Assignments. Complete these missions to advance the story. Assignments are one time only. You only get really one assignment, and then once you complete it, it's done and you move to the next one. Other than that, we'll be doing optional quests, which these include favors for NPCs. More will become available as you meet necessary requirements. You can take on optional quests as many times as you like. Investigations are also another thing we can do in between doing assignments to work on getting equipment and whatnot. These special quests are issued by the Resource Center and can only be taken a limited number of times. Events. Special quest exclusive to online play. As of right now, we're not in an online world. So we'll go to Assigned, and we'll go ahead and take Jagras of the Ancient Forest, and we'll accept that quest. Boom. Alright. Quest Countdown. You're free to explore Astera while preparations for the quest are complete. Or until, excuse me. Grab a meal at the canteen, shore up your supplies at the provision stockpile, get the latest gear from the smithy and armory, then adjust your equipment and organize your items at the item box. You'll be heading out to the field in no time. The quest begins. Take a look at the upper left corner of the screen. When the quest is ready to begin, you'll see a notification there. Once you're prepared, press the back button at any time to enter standby. You can go on standby by pressing A at one of Astera's gates. From the party member status menu, selecting standby for departure will have your party depart on the quest as soon as all preparations are accounted for. If you are the leader of the party, pressing Y will let you depart first with other members who are on standby. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is eat something. Alright, so we go to the canteen. That canteen. Eating meals can boost stats such as health and stamina, and grant special food skills. Select the meal you wish to eat from the menu. The meal effects are shown at the center of the screen. Take a good look at each meal's effect to help you determine which one will provide the best benefits for your next hunt. Food skills have a probability of being activated. Use fresh ingredients to raise that probability. Note that meal effects are not saved. Meal effects end when any of the following happen. You complete a quest. You return from a quest or expedition. You faint during a quest or expedition. You can eat again at camp a short time after eating a meal, about 10 minutes. Don't forget to eat again after fainting. Meal effects will carry over when starting a quest during an expedition, or when switching from an expedition in one locale or to another. Alright, so on the right here we got ways to pay and how much it costs, the ingredient types we have available, and the daily skills. And if we have anything on oven roast, which we can do oven roasting, cooks food over time it takes to complete one quest. For example, if you oven roast some raw meat, once the quest is done, you'll return to find a ration. Excuse me. Be sure to collect your cooked food on the way out to the next quest. Oven roast requires research points. So we're not going to be able to oven roast anything with us not having any research points yet. And we have 2,000 Zenny to start with, so we're going to pay for a, looks like we don't have a chef's platter. So the chef's platter, the chef's choice platter, actually gives you the 2 freshest ingredients, which gives you the best bonuses. And right now it doesn't look like any of our foods are fresh except for one item, which is the onions. Alright, so Okay, I guess we're gonna go with 2 of these, which will give us elemental resistance. Actually, we don't really need elemental resistance, so actually gonna go with 2 of these, which will give me an attack up, as well as Feline Polisher, which is, if we look at the Courage, Feline Polisher often speeds up sharpening time. I'm gonna have to worry about my weapon's sharpness quite frequently, especially this lower level. So we'll go ahead and confirm, order this meal. Alright, and the first time I do this, we'll go ahead and watch the cutscene here. Alright, so we got the stamina boost and the attack up S. So we are now ready to depart on our first quest. So let's go knock that out. So we'll whistle for our ride and head out. Alright, so we come to the first camp.
Alright, this is our first job. Let's do a quick review of quest rules. Rule number 1. Complete the objective to complete the quest. Easy, right? Each quest has an objective. You can't consider the quest done until you complete that objective. Our current objective is to eliminate a specified number of Jagras. Let's check the map.
Alright, so automatically pulls
We
that out.
ran into some Jagras on the way to base. The small monsters, remember? I think we saw them somewhere around here. Want to check it out? Rule number 2. Use the supply box. The Commission supplies us with a loadout of certain items for each quest. They're in the supply box over there. Have a look and decide what you should take along. Ready to go.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to pop into the camp. If you pop in the account, you can change your loadouts and stuff here. Camp offers 5 basic amenities. Use them to prepare for the hunt. Tent, supply, quest counter, your palico, and canteen. The camp canteen offers the same meals that are available in Astera. Check your gear. The tent lets you swap out items you're carrying and change your and your palico's equipment. The supply box. The supply box contains useful items issued to hunters free of charge by the Resource Center. Don't hesitate to take them with you, but remember to share when you're playing with friends. The quest counter. Speak to the handler during an expedition to take on a new quest. This is particularly handy if you want to keep hunting with the same party in the same locale. Your palico. Your palico can be found in camp. Speak to them to choose whether to bring them with you on your hunt or leave them or have them wait until you return. Fast travel. When you're ready to return to camp, press the back button to open the wildlife map. Then select camp to call a winged drake to your current location for a free ride back. The winged drakes can't approach while you're engaged in combat, so fast travel is unavailable until the fighting is finished. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our item box and manage our items for a moment. As I'm not using anything related to distance yet, I'm going to go ahead and, instead of just doing that way, you know what, I completely forgot that you can hit right bumper to pull the whole stack, or right trigger to pull just a single stack in and out. So we're going to go ahead and yank all this stuff back into our box, this as well, and we're going to yank the full set of stuff there. And then what I would like to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into here and fix this loadout, because I don't need anything here. This is going to be my basic loadout for the first couple of bits. Crafting list shows us everything we can craft. And if you see the check mark, it'll show us what is selected to auto craft. So if I have any space, for example, if I only have 6 potions and I pick up a couple of herbs, I will make potions to fill. I leave this on just for right now. I'm also going to turn on the auto crafting for the first aid med plus, because that's going to be kind of important for me for later. Everything else is kind of, I don't really need to put it on autocraft just yet, because I have no real need to make anything out of it. So with that all done, and this is just ammo that we could craft if we grab the stuff we wanted to craft, but I'm not currently making anything because I don't really need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and step outside because our equipment's all set for what we're doing right now. Now we have, I believe, 50 minutes to complete this quest. So it is advisable to gather supplies while you're in a quest, if time allows. Now the supply box gives you a couple of things that you can utilize. First aid meds, easy rations, empty vials, and then a select amount of ammo types and coatings. We're going to grab all of the ammo types. We're actually pretty much going to grab everything out of the box. Now, these have a special icon above the image of the item, and that's to signify that they are a quest-specific item, and they will actually disappear from your inventory prior to you completing the quest. So when you complete the quest, they'll disappear. So it's recommended to use these items first. So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to increase our stamina a little bit here, and make sure we're on our first aid med. And now we can go out. Now, these guys here, the little one of the things, if you follow them, they have a tendency to lead you to items, like these herbs that we just found. You can carry a certain amount of everything. So for right now, we're only going to harvest what we can, and when we get to the end of the quest, what we're going to do is unload everything to start with. Now when we get to the point where we start doing expeditions, there's a different method that I like to use.
Keep in mind that what you're able to do depends on whether or not your weapon is drawn.
We want to grab these stones because we'll be able to use them for
you'll generally want to keep your weapon sheathed.
Because we move around a bit better.
I'll mark gathering sites and monster positions on the wildlife map for you.
Alright, let's go ahead and grab this herb. Now, honey...
You can gather honey and mix it with a potion to make mega potions.
You can also mix it with the first aid meds to make first aid med pluses. And it looks like it made us mega potions first. Which is fine, we're okay to do that. Alright.
Over here!
I'm going to grab these needleberries, which automatically get turned into spread ammo 1 for me.
A pack of Jagras! Those are the monsters we're after.
Let's see how you hold up when you're on your own.
Alright, first we're going to get our weapon out. Alright. And here we go. That's not what I wanted to do. Using wide slash to try to hit a higher area of them.
They're on the run. Don't let them get away. Grab all the monster materials you can.
Yep.
You can use
so
them
whenever you kill a monster, even these lesser monsters, harvest them. You can always use the hide to craft, and if you don't need it to craft, gathering it anyway is going to give you the ability to start using it as sell fodder, as I tend to call it. It's just so you can sell it and get a little bit of zenny out of it to use. So you're going to want to gather everything you can. Red Pit is specific to quests, as is the stones and the Slinger Torch that you saw earlier. But the bones and then these mining outcrops are always handy to grab because they're going to give you resources to use. Spore Puffs are also specific, but Parashrooms are great to grab as well, and we will need these to make Trank Bombs later in the game. As of right now, we don't need to make them. Alright, so we'll keep going down the cave and see what's here. These are kind of nice. These blind all the critters in the area. So if you hit a flashlight when a bunch of things are looking at you, they'll get blinded.
Whatever you can.
did not do near as much damage as it should have. What I'm doing is kind of an infinite combo setup. I'm hitting B for wide slash and then immediately going into rising slash.
Keep it together, okay?
Which the quest is going to end as soon as I kill an enemy. One more enemy.
Look out! Your health is low. Keep your distance.
Oh, I didn't
and
even
use a
realize.
potion.
So what we're going to do is going to put our weapon away. We're going to drink our potion, which is going to give us a little bit of...
is a powerful close-range weapon. Though attacks leave you wide open, payoff is well worth it. Okay.
There's the main objective.
And report back to the old man.
Now we have about a minute before the quest itself kicks us out. So now is a good time to start gathering everything you can right before the quest timer ends. So I'm going to get all these Jagrases that are right here. And then in the back there is at least one bone node that I know of. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that while these guys are kind of skulking around. Oh, I thought there was one back here. Maybe I was thinking of a different area, or it just isn't showing up in this particular quest. No, it's right here. I was right. And we're going to try to gather this a couple of times before that timer ends up going away. And you hit it with a stone and flip it. If you target the firebugs like that, you'll be able to target it with a slinger ammo and set it off. Alright, and here's the end screen. This will tell us how much cash we got coming to us. And all of the resources we got. So we got some Jagras scales, some bones, some hide, more bones, a sharp claw, another scale, an armor sphere, some ore, blue mushroom, ancient bone, bitter bugs, and mandragora. Now this will also see what our palico gathered, which was some honey and some more ancient bones. Alright, so we got 720 zenny. Our palico leveled to level 2, increasing its attack and defense. We got a new cutscene to watch. And the gadget that our palico uses got a little bit of experience as well. The zenny reward is split between your party size. So 720 zenny would have been split two ways if another person was with me. Sometimes it helps to have people there. Other times it is beneficial to run a mission solo if you know you can handle it. So with that, we're going to go ahead and finish up our quest. And now it's actually going to kick us into a online lobby, I believe, as we head back to Astero. Now, the useful bits here on the tooltips for the loading screen are actually going through some of the stuff that I've already explained, like the auto crafting.
Good to see you.
Fine work taking down those Jagras. So there's no difference in their habitat, but their numbers are increasing. I see. It may be stating the obvious, but Jagras aren't the only danger lurking around these parts. We've also reports of Kestodon herd getting out of hand. This must all be because Zorah Magdaros made landfall. It's got everything riled up.
And listen up.
Well, it's going to be your job to quiet them down. We'd like you to investigate this Kestodon herd and cull their numbers. I'm going along. Wouldn't want you to get hurt. I love the trust there. Alright, you can now depart on quests with other players via an online session. Turn on voice chat function now. Nope, we're not going to turn that on because right now we're just not using it.
Alright. Now that you've got some materials, why don't we head over to the smithy to see what you can do with them?
Yep, and then we also got a login bonus, which gave us a large barrel bomb and a lucky voucher. Alright, so now we can run up to this smithy, which we're going to go ahead and do. Alright, go up to the workshop. Alright. And now we can start doing stuff here.
There you are, Fiver.
Aha! Look who's back with materials. Step right up and welcome to the smithy. You'll be needing my services a lot. What I do for you is simple. Whenever you go out in the field and gather materials, I turn those materials into weapons and armor. Drop by whenever you find something new and interesting. Here, I'll give you some materials as a welcome present. You can use them to upgrade your equipment. The smithy. You can use monster materials and ore to forge and upgrade equipment at the smithy. Give the materials you earn as quest rewards or carve from monsters to the smithy to create new equipment for taking on even tougher monsters. Alright, so right now it's only having us upgrade equipment, which will probably be our Buster Sword here. We'll go ahead and do that. Upgrading weapons. First, select the weapon you want to upgrade to. You can use materials to upgrade to different weapons with a variety of improved stats. If you want more base weapons to enhance, you can create more by selecting forge equipment at the smithy or by purchasing them at the armory. Upgraded weapons can also be downgraded. The materials used to upgrade the weapon will be returned to you. The wish list. Select a weapon with the cursor and press Y to add it to your wish list. Once you acquire all necessary materials to create a wish listed item, you'll receive a message. You can add weapons and armor to your wish list from the Forge Equipment screen. Alright, so everything we have here is what we can see. We can upgrade to the Buster Sword 2, which only requires 2 of our 6 iron ore. And then this is the next weapon we can craft in the ore tree. Now we know it requires at least 2 Malachite ore, we only have 1, and then 1 other item, which we can't see yet. We also have a tree below that, and then this tree, which requires a Buster Sword 2, and a bunch of parts of wood from a monster we have not collected yet. We also have Bone, which we're not using at the moment. Bone, I believe, has a higher elemental affinity when you get elemental bone weapons, or does, and Bone has a higher outright damage. So let's see, we can now forge equipment and customize things. Forging equipment. New weapons and armor can be crafted by selecting Forge Equipment. Most weapons, however, can't be created via Forge Equipment. Instead, you'll have to make a base weapon first, then upgrade into a more powerful weapon via Upgrade Equipment. All armors can be created via Forge Equipment. Equipment skills. Equipment skills are helpful skills that remain active as long as you have the piece of equipment equipped. Each armor piece has its own skills. Be sure to keep on the skills when forging and upgrading your gear. If multiple pieces of gear share a skill, the skills level will be the sum of each piece's skill level. Equip sets of gear with the same skills to power up those skill effects. Alright, so armor-wise, we can craft leather, chainmail, hunter, and bone. Alright, the hunter gives a scout fly range up for the helmet, slinger capacity for the chest piece, stealth for the gloves, scent hound for the coil, and barbecue master for the pants. There's also a couple of pieces for bone that we could craft. For now, I do want to craft at least the bone mail, because the bone mail is going to give me an attack upgrade skill, which is going to be very handy. Alright, there we go, we got that. And it will actually ask us if we want to equip it now, and we do. Now the helmet gives us a health boost, which also is going to be kind of useful. But right now I think I'd rather have the Master Gatherer from the chainmail, so I might put that on. Barbecue Master is also nice. It makes it easier to cook well done steaks, which is better than rations. And I'm going to be doing a lot of that off camera as well. So with armor and weapons, your trees are going to be open-ended, which means we can go ahead and craft everything we see at least once so we have it. So I think we're going to go ahead and do some of that. We're going to start with the bone and get all the bone stuff. And let's get past a lot of this animation here. Let's go ahead and equip that. We've run out of ancient bones, which is what is required for some of our bone stuff, but we can make the hunter's greaves, which we'll go ahead and do. And we're going to go ahead and put those on. What does Scent Hound do for us? Increases gauge fill rate by 50%. Increases the scout fly's gauge fill rate when you find tracks and other traces left by monsters. That seems particularly useful. Let's go ahead and make that. Equip that. Now, as you can see, the gloves for Hunter is going to give me 2 fire, 2 water, as well as 6 defense. So doing the Jagras quest is going to give us quite a bit of additional defenses to start with for our first big monster hunt, which will be coming up shortly. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the Hunter's mail, but I don't believe I'm going to put it on. I'm going to leave the bone on. So we're going to say no to equipping it now, but we have it in our equipment box so we can switch to it whenever we want to. We have run out of Jagras scales, so we'll need to get more of those. But we'll always be hunting more Jagras, so I think we'll be okay. Now, I do want to upgrade our Buster Sword to a Buster Sword 2, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, that's done, and it's automatically equipped. Alright, so from here we'll be able to upgrade to either this tree or this tree, which looks to have a poison element in it. Yep, poison element in it. But we don't know what all it needs just yet. So with that, most of what we've done here is completed. Now, if we want to, we can go ahead and forge that bone greatsword, which has a higher base damage to it. And then I think we'll be able to upgrade it to the next slot up and actually use that instead for the raw damage. But we're going to have the iron one. We're going to go ahead and equip that because we're going to go ahead and upgrade it anyway. We're going to keep this because it'll turn into other things that we might be using later, especially if we want to use poison as a base. Alright, so that's the last of our bone. But we've got an upgraded weapon which will also be able to turn into other tiers of things. So armor spheres are used to power up your armor. Each piece of armor has a level. You can use armor spheres to gain points, which are used to raise your armor's level. The equipment appearance won't change, but its defenses will increase. There's a limit to the number of times a piece of armor can be leveled up. The number of points gained depend on the type of armor sphere used. Alright, so we only have 2 regular armor spheres, which give us 1 armor point apiece. Which we can use both or just 1. If we use 1, we'll get 1 level up. If we use the second one, we'll get another, but we'll need 2 more points in order to level up to level 3. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and that takes Zinni as well to upgrade all of our armors like this. Alright, so that's done. Alright, so we're pretty much done here. And now we need to speak to the handler again. And it seems that there are a lot of people leaving our session, so it's actually just us in here now. We're going to go ahead and head down to the trader because there's something I need to check real quick before we end the episode. And that is, I want to see if the people are over here. They are not yet, so we must be getting that later today, or later on in the storyline. What we need from here is going to be help us get more armor spheres and research points. But I think we have to wait until we have our first full hunt. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode as well. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. And as always, have a good day, and I will see you guys later.